What's going on, everybody? Football Rob here, breaking down. And when I say breaking down, I am really breaking down. I am losing my freaking mind watching this atrocity of a basketball team. The Minnesota Timberwolves make me do this. I'm sure I'm not the only one out there, because it's like the same story with these guys every single time. This time, Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve, they dropped another one to the New Orleans Pelicans. They were at the Smoothie King Arena. Like, what kind of name? First of all, what kind of names are these for arenas? It's almost like if 2K didn't feel like paying the naming rights to Continental Airlines Arena and Madison Square Garden and the Staples Center. They just said, you know what? We'll make up our own arena so we don't have to pay those big corporations. Smoothie King Center, that's fine. What kind of nonsense is that? But the nonsense didn't stop there. The nonsense found its way onto the court because this team sucks. This team just sucks. I could look at my notes, I could say, whatever, blah, 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 Minnesota, they get a turnover, they're down 9-2 to begin the game. Anthony Davis went hog wild in the first quarter, 21 points from AD. This guy toasted everybody. Jang got some, Towns got some, Wiggins got some. He just took turns burning everybody on the team. Front court players, back court players, first stringers, second stringers, didn't matter. I stopped watching this game with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, so my stats may not be complete. But he had 39 points at the time that I tuned out, and look, man, it was like a 22-point lead with 6 minutes to go. Why would I bother watching the rest of this fuckery? So, the thing that's really disappointing to me about this team here is that they had a bad start. Anthony Davis was tearing them up, but they kept everyone else in check, and it was a nip-and-tuck game. Eventually, there were some lead changes. Minnesota came back. They had the lead in the second quarter. There was an 11-0 run by Minnesota. They had a 46-38 lead at one point. But eventually they kind of gave that up. But whatever, it was 53-50 at halftime. New Orleans had a measly 3-point lead. And it's like a tug of war. You were thinking, okay, sometimes Minnesota gets hot. Sometimes New Orleans gets hot. They just keep trading buckets back and forth. And then the friggin' wheels fall off in the third quarter. And this is what really signaled the beginning of the end in this game. Solomon Hill had an uncontested dunk. It was a 17-6 run at that point. Tom Thibodeau calls a timeout, which he should have. And right after the timeout, this is midway through the third quarter, right after the timeout, Minnesota turns it over. Then a three-pointer by New Orleans on the other end. Another turnover, a fast break, layup, then another uncontested dunk by Omer Asik. It ends up being a 24-6 run. And it was unbelievable that, in basketball, a lot of teams go on runs. It's a game of runs. So, if Minnesota gives up a 7-0 run, an 8-0 run, fine, that's fine. But to make it 24-6, how can you let that happen? I don't think it's coaching, guys. I don't think Tibbs is to blame. I like his substitution patterns. When he sees these guys not giving effort, he's quick to pull them out. He's quick to chew on their ear and let them know that this is unacceptable. He uses timeouts properly. He has good pedigree. He was very good in Chicago. He was on the Knicks staff with Jeff Van Gundy. This guy knows his basketball. He's been around the block. It's not him. these players are just gutless. That's what I really think at the end of the day. Yes, they have talent, but they just don't have any guts. And if you don't have any guts, you're going to get gutted. And that's what's going on. And, you know, at the end of the third quarter, it was 36-18. So the New Orleans doubled up Minnesota in the third quarter in terms of points. They scored twice as many points, and that was the end. And, you know, a couple of players did okay. Zach LaVine, he cut the lead to 17 a couple of times. He got to the basket, got a three-point play. Good for him. You know, he's showing effort. Dunn, their first-round pick, he's doing his thing on defense. He cannot shoot a lick, but he's doing his thing on defense. So that shows me that his heart is in the game. But the rest of these guys, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Wiggins, at the time that I tuned out, was 2 of 19 from the field. 2 of 19. You know, I haven't seen this level of gutlessness since the pre-Amari Stoudemire New York Knicks. And at this time in Knick history, it was back when then GM Donnie Walsh was just clearing cap space so that he could sign real basketball players. So he was having, like, you know, the Larry Hughes and the Al Harringtons of the world, and, you know, garbage players like that were pretty much at the end of their effectiveness as NBA players. But they had a reason to be gutless, because they were just collecting a check and they knew they would leave this team at the end of the season. So I could see and I could understand why those players weren't giving a full effort. But these guys are young, okay? These guys are supposed to be the face of the future of this team, and they're just getting their asses kicked. And they're just letting it happen. You know, and that's what's just baffling to me. So, you know, I guess that's my whole report for this game. I hope things change for this team. I mean, I do love their talent. Physically, they have the talent, but mentally, I don't think they have the guts to compete right now. And, you know, if you lose a game, whatever, losing happens, but to have a game just slip away like that, to where you get doubled up in the third quarter, to the point where the fourth quarter didn't even matter. The game was lost in the third quarter. You get outscored 18 points in one quarter, that's the game. And it keeps happening, and until they grow some balls, I don't see them going anywhere, especially in a very, very competitive Western Conference. So that's all I've got to say about the T-Wolves right now. Another disappointing loss. Let's see if they turn it around. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Football Rob signing off.